Worried about long-term care ruining your retirement? Don't be. Don't be. I'm actually very, very pleased to introduce this article from the Center for Retirement Research at Boston College. I was stunned to have read this because usually the good folks at CRR, the Center for Retirement Research, are peddling there's no other way around that. And while I like the research they're doing, I've been following them for many, many, many moons. It is always linked to the fear of retirement planning. We don't have pensions like we used to. We never had pensions like they always say. Social Security won't provide enough income. It will provide enough income if you have no debt. The whole thing is it's all peddling fear that makes people want to keep working and working and working. And it's funny because they're affiliated, these guys, with the Brookings institution, not known for their conservative politics, if that makes sense, and the Urban Institute. I always got to chuckle at that because if you're familiar with the Urban Institute, left wing diatribes. That's all there is to it. So anyway, I was reading this. And I was like, wow, CRR coming up with some good. Oh, by the way, and I talk about this in this book right here that your old buddy Josh has written. You can retire on Social Security, and just all kinds of chapters. Chapter 14, medical bankruptcy is killing the American middle class, says idiot Elizabeth Warren. What else I got here? Let's see. The truth about medical costs in retirement. I talk about that. So anyway, let's dive into this because I think you'll get a kick at it. And I'm just going to share with you what I've highlighted, and then you can read along together. All right. So, I'll put a link in the show notes, but we'll read this right quick. Let me just read this like this so you can see my gorgeous face. Nothing in my teeth? Nope. Yay. Haven't shaved though. Well, actually, maybe I will do it like this. Let me get my reading glasses on too. Now, this is the epitome of high-class YouTube videos. For late career workers, the possibility of needing care in retirement is a real concern. This concern may reflect media reports. Let me just read it from here. This concern may reflect media reports of high likelihood of infirmity and the high cost of care, particularly in nursing homes. You think? It is easy for people to jump to the conclusion that most retirees will either need to trade in their nest egg and independence to get support in a nursing home or languish in their homes with unmet needs, basically eating cat food with a poopy diaper. Fear of dependency may make retirees reluctant to spend their 401k balances, depriving them of necessities as they age, or I would say fun. Fun. Let's go have some fun. You saved, you worked for a reason. Spend that puppy now, man. The narrative that emerges from the academic literature, however, is more nuanced. Many people experience only brief periods of needing care. You see that? Many people will experience only brief periods of needing care, and the burden in terms of money spent on formal caregivers will be minimal. Are you hearing that, my friends? Let me just read that again. Let me just highlight the whole thing. Many people will experience only brief periods of needing care, and the burden in terms of money spent on formal caregivers or the time spent by informal caregivers will be minimal. All right, so that's just a fact, Jack. So let's go to background. All right, so as a result of this natural process of people aging, most people eventually need help. First with housework and other instrumental activities of daily living, IADLs, instrumental activities of daily living. Housework, shopping, and preparing meals is called IADL. And then with more essential tasks, what's called activities of daily living, bathing, eating, and toileting. The big one is transferring. Transferring is I don't know why they don't look at that, because transferring is the big one. That literally is getting up and rotating. That's called transferring. Are your ability to get up and rotate on your own, or do you need help? That's an activities of daily living. I guess that's a knee or hip thing. I don't know. It's interesting, though. All right, let's keep going. So I just want to point that out. What is an IADL? Shopping, preparing meals, housework. All right, what's an ADL is bathing, eating, toileting, transferring, and then, because that's going to play an important role here. Right, let's see what else we got. Now we're going to go to defining low right here. Right here. Studies examining the intensity of long-term care service and support needs among the elderly have found three types of individuals. Those who need support with only IADLs, right? IADL, that's housework, shopping, and what's the other one? Preparing foods. That's called that's low intensity. Those who need support with one medium intensity, and again, medium intensity is transferring, toileting, bathing, and what's the other one? They got 6 of them, but bathing, eating, toileting, transferring, and I forgot the other 2. Or 2 ADLs, dementia, Alzheimer's, all the high intensity. So we got IADL, then 1 ADL, then 2 ADLs, and there's another category for nothing. All right, so keep going with that. Those who need help with 2+ ADLs, again, basically dementia and Alzheimer's, require about 2.5 times the support of those who need help with only IADLs. Interesting. So remember, we got 3 categories we're talking about here, but there's a 4th category, those who don't need nothing. So again, those who need help with 2+ ADLs needs about 2 times. They need about 2.5 times the support of those who only have an IADL. They need help with shopping, with making food, housework. Isn't that interesting? So let's keep going. And I think I don't have anything here. Let's go down to results. We're going to go down to results right here. All right. The results show that roughly 1/5 of 65-year-olds will die without requiring any long-term care services support. 20% are going to die without any LTSS, all right? And about 1/4 will have severe needs, all right? So basically it's a wash. 1/4 will have severe needs, 20% will have none. In between those 2 extremes, 22% will experience minimal needs, and 38% will experience moderate needs. Isn't that interesting? Minimal needs is IADLs, all right? Now also, what's the time frame for that? So let's keep reading. I got the whole paragraph right here. The results are consistent with prior studies, which found that 26% of adults over 65 would have severe long-term service and support needs for over 4 years. Yeah, that seems about right. I'd say about 15 if you actually look at, in my book we talk about 15% of the people, I actually look in terms of dollars spent. How much they spent? I think it's like over $200,000. 15% of the people spend over $200,000. All right. So 26% of adults over 65 would have severe long-term service and support needs for over 4 years. All right. So that's 1/4 of the population. So should everybody be looking at that as if it's going to affect them? No. A number of other studies had estimated that 35 to 59% of households will need some form of nursing home, either short or long-term. That's where they get you. Oh, 50% are going to need some kind of nursing home. But they don't say the length of it, short or long term. Just because they say nursing home, it doesn't have to be forever, man. Jeez. Many of these individuals have high intensity needs, even if only for a short period. So they're in a nursing home with high intensity needs, but for a short period of time. About 50% of the individuals will fall in that category. So here we go. None. 20% of the population has no long-term care service and support needs. Low. 20% of the population has low. So basically 40% of the population has no, and I hate to say it, but just, having someone shop for you, that's just not that. You're going to stop, you're going to keep working because you might have someone who needs to shop for you later on down the road. That's just dumb. Medium. Remember, median is just low as 1 ADL. Transferring, bathing, toileting, and I forgot the other one. It's only 10% of the population. All right, so we got 10. So 54% of the population basically has minimal long-term care needs. Minimal. Oh, and then we take another for high. Only 12% of the population has it for less than a year. All right? Why? Because they die. They're in a nursing home for a full year. Okay, costs $100,000. Huh? How do you finance that? Hey. 1 to 3 years, another 22%. All right, how do you finance that? So this is the category that everyone's trying to protect. 3+ years in a high-intensity nursing home with Alzheimer's. That's the category, 22%. So 100% of the people are going to continue to work, because 22% of the population has a good chance of getting high-intensity nursing homes that cost $200,000. It doesn't make any sense, man. It doesn't make any sense. And even worse, I'll share with you why it doesn't make any sense. The patterns of long-term care service and support needs across different socio-demographic measures are also as expected. Married individuals who Married individuals who tend to be wealthier enjoy the support of a spouse and are more likely to experience no or minimal long-term service and supports, and are less likely to experience severe needs than unmarried individuals. So if you're married, your spouse is going to wipe your butt, you're going to die, now your spouse is a widow, and if she needs a right here, how does she finance that $200,000? By selling the house. It's just the same thing every time. Let's keep going here. Right here. Perhaps the most interesting finding is a very strong relationship between self-reported health at the ages of 65 and 70 and subsequent needs. 30% of individuals who report their health as excellent or very good appear to escape any need for long-term care services support. That share drops to 18% for who describe their health as good and to 5% who say it's fair or poor. Conversely, the share of individuals whose needs are severe increases from 8. Basically, if you're saying you're in a bad shape, your share of needing service long-term services are going to go up. So the best way to avoid long-term care services isn't to keep working a job that's going to drive you crazy, is grinding you, is to quit and go free your health from that crap. All right, so conclusion. Lifetime experiences from 65-year-olds observed in the Health and Retirement study from the University of Michigan indicated about 1/5 will need no support as they age and 1/4 likely to experience the type of severe needs that most people dread. The patterns across, we talk about married individuals, those with some college or more, whites, and those with report excellent or very good health will need relatively little in terms of support, while single individuals, those without a high school diploma, blacks and Hispanics, and those who report poor health will need a lot. Yeah, exactly. And so the big question is whether those who need the help will have the resources available in terms of family and friends to receive support. And that's where, I mean, I hate to say it, but if you're married and you own your house, that you continue to work because of this fear is freaking irrational. It's irrational behavior. Don't be irrational, man. We got so much evidence of this anymore. It's nuts. So here, again, I'm 4 years old in Charlotte. I'm a man. So I got to get, my brain breaks down for 6 months. She has to wipe my butt, put my diapers on and stuff. That sucks for her, 100%. And then I die. So what happens to her? Well, then if something were to happen to her, she sells the house and go to a nursing home that costs $250,000. There's only a 22% chance of that happening. But by the way, too, the more educated you are, the healthier you are, that's even less likely to happen. So for my wife, the idea that she'll need that big expense is minimal at best, and the way we afford the big expense is with a house. So there's absolutely no reason to work just for this. It doesn't make any sense unless you're irrational. And most people are. I am, a lot of times. In this case, I'm not. All right, love your thoughts. We'll see you.